We know that bad air quality makes everything tougher when you can't go outside for fresh air exercise. And we know we all feel this sort of dark, oppressive cloud about 1.5 inches over our heads.
So we all just want to know, when can we go back outside and enjoy the great outdoors? Many of you have been reading our air quality story on the King 5 News app. No doubt to find out when these skies will be clear again.
So from the live pictures we see of the waterfront, you can still see that heavy haze. This is quite an improvement, though, of what we've seen from earlier in the week. Rebecca Stevenson joining us now. So, Rebecca, do we have some good news, hopefully?
We've got great news. When it comes to getting the air cleaned out, Joyce, things look so much better as we head into our Friday, and it only gets better over the weekend as well. Now, looking outside, you can see there's the different layers of smoke, different amounts of light coming through the gray over Hurricane Ridge and the Olympic Mountains. That actually is an improvement. The air quality has improved somewhat over the Olympic Peninsula. That smoke plume today, as you could see, went from the west coast all the way across the Midwest and over to the east coast of the United States. But today, our air quality currently at good and moderate through the Strait of Juan de Fuca all the way over towards Whidbey Island. Okay, so the rest of us have unhealthy air quality, but 2 counties dropped off the map of the air quality alert. Clallam and Grays Harbor counties, and by 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're going to get rid of Jefferson, Lewis, Mason, and Thurston counties too. They're going to get a chance of a thunderstorm tonight, but our clouds ultimately get thick overnight for all of us inland, and we're awaiting the rainfall. Rain appears to show up on the Olympic Peninsula by the time we hit 5 a.m. and then it starts to move inland for all of us. We're going to get anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch of rainfall, and a great mix-up. Get this, scour out this smoke and pollutants from the surface. We're going to be able to breathe better by the time the weekend hits, and I'll have that forecast for you coming up. Joyce and Mark.
All right, Rebecca, great news there. So, yeah, the weather outside has just been smoky all week, but how clean is the air indoors? Fans and filters can help, but how much? King 5's Glenn Farley joins us live now with a look at how technology can help out. Glenn.
And we're going to show you a real-time experiment. And the question becomes, there are all these sensors. They're operated like by the Puget Sound Clean Air Agency, the EPA, even by some sensors in people's backyards. But what we have not really looked at in any extensive way is exactly what the air is doing in here.
I have an air chamber over here.
Scott Waller's garage is the laboratory for Thingy LLC.
And then most of the electronics is all hand soldered here.
A former Microsoft tech guy and volunteer firefighter, one of the things that Thingy is designed to do is track smoke through communications networks outdoors.
So it samples the air, draws it into a little fan, measures it with a little laser.
He shows us how that can happen with tiny sensors that also work indoors.
So what I'm trying to do is compare what are the 2 sensor readings from indoor and outdoor. Closing the door.
Close the garage.
Turn this guy on.
Turn on a box fan and a shop fan equipped with some serious filters, and watch the blue line on the computer screen. That's the indoor sensor.
Outside it is definitely still unhealthy. Once you get down below 12 in the PM 2.5, then you're in that good range. Just because it's clean doesn't mean it's going to stay clean. If I was to shut the fans off and leave the door closed, eventually it'll equalize to the outside I've seen over the last week.
Waller says eventually you'll be able to buy a Thingy for your house, but he's really looking at the bigger picture, a network of indoor sensors telling us about our smoke risks inside as climate change drives more fires and more smoke.
But really the hardest part is, how do you connect all those devices into the internet that's meaningful for researchers, for policymakers, for just us as a consumer? I want to know what the indoor air quality is.
Another project that he's working on with Thingy involves checking smoke in eastern Washington to try and help protect farm workers who are picking fruit, for example. So agriculture is another big part of this. One of the big things for him is just what is the quality of the air we're breathing for most of our day. Live in Linwood, Glenn Farley, King 5 News.
Wow, really interesting, Glenn. Thank you. So in Oregon, one of the places where the air quality is a little bit better is out on the coast, which has people fleeing to the beaches right now to try to get some fresh air.
He was starting to cough a little bit. We have filters in the home, but you just worry with a little guy like this that he's doing some damage to his lungs. So we'll stay here and spend the day here until it's time to go home.
Even a little bit of rain didn't ruin the day. Most people say they actually enjoyed the rain today. Local businesses also welcome the influx of visitors. Well, before you head out of your house, you can check the air quality. You can do that all from your smartphone by just downloading the King 5 app right now.